got a quorum here. No, I'm kidding. Of course, this is the Susan Eisenberg panel. Thank you all for coming to Two Rivers Comic Con. I'm very excited to have the cast of the Justice League here. Without further ado, the voice of Wonder Woman. Give a round of applause for Susan Eisenberg. Sure.
I'm used to being in back of the table.
I know. We're gonna put you out. This is Susan Eisenberg Unplugged.
Hi, everybody.
Do you want to be behind? Okay, I thought you were. I'm like, she's determined to be behind the table. Look at her.
Hi.
So if you have a question, first of all, because I started talking to Carl, I'm like, oh no, there's the microphone there. If you have a question for Susan, come right down to the mic right here, ask your question, and we'll get that taken care of and checked off. So, welcome to St. Charles.
Okay, let me just start off by saying I've heard you talk about St. Charles 1,000 times on your radio show, and you did not oversell it.
Thank you.
It is beyond beautiful. I can't tell you how taken I am with it, and I can't wait to go back tonight to look at the town. It's stunning.
Yeah.
It's stunning. So thank you for promoting it as you have, because it deserves it. It deserves to be promoted. I envy everybody who lives here and gets to go downtown St. Charles, because it's beautiful.
It is. And so your first time here?
Yeah. No, second time. I was here when I was 4.
It doesn't count. If it's before the age of 10, we don't count. That's
Okay.
fine. No problems.
Okay.
So we'll start out. I love the story of you getting the role of Wonder Woman. I've heard this story before. Probably maybe one or two people here have, but I love the story of you getting cast. And I know you found out a different side of it from Dan Reba on the side of how they found Wonder Woman. Talk a little bit about going in, auditioning, and getting the part.
Yeah, it was fun hearing Dan's story, because that's like, you have your own version of the story, and then you hear somebody who is actually in the room making the decisions, and then he tells you what the story really was, and it was really fun. But it was just like an audition, like any other audition. I went and read for it, and then you had a callback. And with voiceover, you don't usually get callbacks. You usually, audition, and you get it or you don't get it. But because this was such a big job, and they wanted to hear us perform it, I had to go to Warner Brothers. Dum, 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 dum. And I had to meet Bruce Timm. Dum, 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 dum. And Andrea Romano. Dun, 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 dun. And it was so exciting and scary. But I just kind of went in, and I did my thing, and they gave me some direction to see how I'd be if they hired me. And I did my thing, and they made a couple of changes to my read, and then I went home, and 2 weeks later I got the call that changed my life, really, because I wouldn't be here with all you lovely people if it weren't for that job. So I just thank my lucky stars that they chose me. That's all. I mean, so many talented women auditioned for it, and I know this because every woman who came in as a guest star would say, I read for the part. And I'd be like, seriously? Like, you're so freaking talented. So I just was always pinching myself that they chose me. Lucky.
And then Dan Reba said, behind the scenes, Dan Reba tells us after Susan says this story, that you were the last role cast. They had all the other 6 of them cast, and they could not find Wonder Woman until Susan came in.
Well. I didn't want to brag. No, and another thing, they had a problem with the rights. Wasn't it like...
There was a little bit of a tricky thing there. Yeah,
right.
The rights to the character, they weren't sure if they'd get it.
Right, that was like that held everything up too, because they didn't know that they would get the rights for her to use her in the series. So that put a pause on everything as well. But yeah, it's always fun to hear, those stories. I've heard Bruce talk a little about hiring me, and it's such a treat because Bruce isn't somebody who talks a lot, Bruce Timm, so, and the other Bruce, Batman.
Yes.
But so it's fun to hear that inside baseball kind of stuff, which is why I love our podcast, if I may.
You may.
I just plugged our podcast.
You did.
you want to tell the nice
You want me to tell them?
Yeah, you tell
So in case if you love Justice League and want more, wish the series had gone on, Susan and I do a podcast called Justice League Revisited, where she and I, along with a guest, maybe it's Dan Reba, maybe it's Phil Lamar, we go through an episode, we watch them in their original order of airing, and then we talk about it with the special guest and dissect the episode and get into the details. And we've had Glenn Murakami on. We've had 2/3 of Dynamic Music Partners who did the score for it. We've had, obviously, Phil, Maria.
All the cast.
All the cast have been on it. And it's just a lot of fun to go back and watch them because sometimes it's been a while since I've seen an episode. Sometimes I've got it, oh yeah, I just watched that one a couple weeks ago. I'll watch it again just to be safe. Because now it's streaming on Netflix and on HBO.
Yeah, I still call it.
Is HBO again?
I know I call it HBO.
Max?
I've never not called it HBO. I don't care what they say. It's HBO.
Well, you're right again.
It's
so
HBO.
It switches back and forth.
Yeah, so we do the podcast, and it's a lot of fun. And if you have a chance and you're driving to work, find us on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're there.
And just out of curiosity, now we've said, has anybody actually listened to an episode yet? Okay, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. If you haven't, what is wrong with you people? Seriously. I'm kidding, of course. This is.
So I'm used to talking to this guy, is my point. Like, this guy and I talk all the time. He's like one of my. I just love him. So it's so funny to hear him say, how'd you tell the story about when you got started? And it's like, really? You've heard that 1,000 times. But you haven't heard it.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah. And again, I want to point out the microphone dead center if any of you have questions. He's stretching before he comes up to ask his question. He was just about to head up. He was stretching first.
Well, there was a gentleman that just came to my table. I don't see him here. And he asked me a question. I said, you may want to ask that in about 10 minutes at the panel. So hopefully he'll join us soon.
He'll come back up. No questions at all at this time? Yes.
Hey, Susan.
Hey.
You know, we've met before in Nashville, and it's me
I
again.
remember.
You know, Wonder Woman is one of my absolute favorite characters of all time, and she's usually like so calm and collected a lot of the time, but there are moments where she kind of just lets loose with anger, like where she almost kills Toyman after we think Superman is dead.
Right.
So what is your favorite of those moments?
Favorite let loose moment.
I feel like a lot of times she's held back. You know, like somebody in the league will say, hey, we're not doing that today. When the episode where I take somebody out of the car, because he's being such a jerk to his partner, and I'm dressed as Diana Prince in that. I'm not dressed as Wonder Woman. And I feel like people are always saying, hey, don't go there.
Right.
And I'm not sure.
I feel like it was Maid of Honor. I could be wrong. Anyway.
Right. So I do think she lets loose a lot. I'm surprised at her temper, frankly, on the show, because they always talk about her grace and compassion.
Right.
And I feel like she's very human on our show. Like, she loses it on people. I don't know that I'm trying to think of my favorite losing it moment.
I do love the Toyman one because then Michael Rosenbaum has to kind of talk you down.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's always somebody to talk me down, like I'm some sort of hysteric, which I'm not. I would say that's probably one of them. But again, the one where, like, what's wrong with the way I dress, and all of that.
I love that line. That's
Yeah, so I like when she has her human moments.
Yeah.
It's good.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
What, right there, could you, before you sit down, could you hand the microphone to our little Spider-Gwen? Spider-Girl? All right, wasn't sure.
Hi.
What's your question?
Hi. I wanted to know where you got the golden goblets that you wear when you act, and do you have them at home?
I couldn't hear.
The gauntlets. Oh, where do you have real ones at home?
Bracelets?
Real.
Oh, I do. I have a pair of bracelet. Oh, we're gonna get you. Oh. I actually at home, I have a tiara, and I have the bracelets because I felt like I should have them, because I voiced the character. It's nice. And also, I did this little movie once with Tim Daly, who played Superman in the animated series. and whom I love. And he asked me to do a project with him where I played Wonder Woman. It's live action. And it's called The Daily Show, D-A-L-Y. It's on YouTube. And I played Wonder Woman, and Timmy played Superman, and his son Sam played, I'm not going to spoil it. And it's so fun. So for that, I bought the tiara and the bracelets and some red boots. But that's a different story. Anyway, yes, I do have the bracelets, and I love them. They're in my recording studio, and I have them on a shelf, the 2 bracelets and my tiara.
And she wears them to dinner. It's very embarrassing, because I'm like, we're at McDonald's, Susan. Could you take that off? But it's
I don't want you to get the biggest laughs.
I'm sorry.
You got the biggest laughs.
Well, so far,
All right.
we're early on.
All right.
Anyone else have a question at all at this point?
Don't be shy,
Yes.
please.
Oh, we'll stand right behind him. That way we don't lose you again. So yeah, go ahead, sir.
What do you do to get into character before you start recording as Wonder Woman?
What do you do to get into character before you start recording?
I read the script. I read the script. No, seriously, the words get me there. That script brings me in. If I see a great Hera, I'm in. It's those scripts were gems. And all I have to do is see a scene with me and read a scene with me and Batman or Hawkgirl or Flash, and I'm right in it. It's kind of magical that way. And plus, having done it for a while, she's kind of inside me anyway. I mean, I just carry her around and bring her out when I need to. Seriously.
Like when you're ripping people from cars.
I only wish I had that power. I only wish. I can't tell you how many times a day I wish I had those superpowers.
That's
Alas, I
interesting.
do not.
It's interesting you say that, because Carl just said if he had the superpowers, he said it'd be the best thing to not use them.
No.
But you're saying you just throw down.
Oh, God. In a heartbeat. But that's the difference between Martian Manhunter and Wonder Woman. He's so genteel, Martian Manhunter, and Carl, for that matter. But actually, the superpower I wish I had was to fly, because I think birds and flying, I think that's I'm not even a religious person, but to me that's God's grace, seeing them in the air like that. So it would be do you remember the Superman movie with Christopher Reeve when they're flying through with he and Margot Kidder, and that song? Who remembers the song that they?
Can you read my mind?
Da 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 da. Everybody.
Yeah. Da da da. You guys let us down big time there. Look at that. But no, I agree.
Oh. And
Well, first off, you gave me an assignment yesterday because I asked you a question that neither one of us knew the answer to.
That's right.
And I found out it's Archmage Modera. It was who you voiced in World of Warcraft.
What was it?
Archmage Modera.
Okay, yeah, that was not at the tip of my tongue.
Yep.
Okay.
So if anybody ever asks, now
right,
you know.
thank you. Thank you for that.
And then my question for you is, in the DC Comics, there's a lot of Elseworlds arcs out there. They're some of my favorite stories, and Wonder Woman has a lot of very interesting takes that they bring her on. And if you're familiar with any of those, are there any that you'd love to see brought into the animated world that you could voice and kind of show Wonder Woman in these different lights?
So you're talking about the comic books
Yes.
and the comic stories, and if there are any of those that I would want to do in animation.
Yes.
See, I would.
Specifically the Elseworlds.
Yeah. But
Yes.
if there's any that you know of.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
If-
Elseworlds tale.
If I
yes.
could give you a recommendation for one
Yes,
that's
please.
really cool is DC versus Vampires. Oh. In it, Wonder Woman actually becomes a vampire.
Okay. I used to. Can we talk about Barnaby?
Yes.
Collins. Okay. All right. I'm gonna read that. Thank you. You know, this guy's very helpful. He gave me 2 things.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay. More questions. Please.
Hello,
Hello.
big Wonder Woman fan. One thing I really love about the character is the compassion that you mentioned earlier. And kind of contrasting the other question, what was your favorite moment where you really just got into the sisterhood, the connection with other characters of women?
That was it, the sisterhood. So whenever I was on Themyscira, you know, and being around my sisters, when, you know, I had a lot of affection for Hawkgirl until she betrayed us. And it's so hard to let that go. It's so hard. But yeah, I mean, and like Maid of Honor, where she's with Princess Audrey, and I get to be like a mentor to her, and I'm like kind of as opposed to the early episodes where I'm just like a fish out of water and, really learning how to be in this man's world. By the time Maid of Honor comes along, like I kind of know the ropes a little bit and trying to teach her. But I would say just overall compassion. I mean, I'm a believer in compassion. I believe that our world would be so much better if we just had more of it. There seems to be less and less of it these days. So anything and being able to portray a character that has so much of it, it's inspirational, really. And she was just a good egg. And I loved that about her, I'm trying to think of her compassionate moments.
Yeah, all I'm thinking is you ripping people out of cars and
Yeah, right.
putting your fist through Toyman.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm sure there were compassion moments. We're just forgetting.
She was very compassionate. Did you have a story in mind that you remember her being compassionate?
Princess Audrey.
Princess
That
Audrey.
was absolutely my favorite episode from the whole show.
Maid of Honor, and I have to say that was my niece. My niece, that was her favorite episode, and every time she would come over to my house, Maid of Honor went into the DVD player, and we would watch it over and over again. And I love it, because she is the more mature one in that dynamic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions at all? Yes, sir. Come on right up.
Todd. Hi.
I was thinking of a compassionate moment. At the end of Tabula Rasa, where Jean is experiencing the negative impact of opening his mind to so many characters, and when he finally is reunited with Wonder Woman, she just gives him a big hug.
That's
there's no like we gotta go, be with the bad guys or find Lex Luthor. It's just a
Todd,
big hug.
do you mind replacing James? 'Cause he didn't come up with that, and you did, Todd.
The sad Charlie Brown walk.
No, I have to say, my relationship with Carl Lumley is so similar to Wonder Woman's relationship to Martian Manhunter in that I adore him, and I have such respect for him, and I just love his essence, right? And I always I think the two characters had a very special bond as outsiders in this. And I remember that episode. Thank you for bringing that up, because yes, I just loved our dynamic, their dynamic, Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter. And yeah, and she sensed that he was I think she was very good at sensing people's feelings, and yeah, I love that. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I would agree. It was a very brother-sister almost
It was.
dynamic
I think
to it.
that's true of I felt like that with Superman. Like, people ask me a lot about Superman and Wonder Woman and like a romance, because the 52 did that story, and I have to try not to gag, but because to me they're brother and sister, and to me Superman will always be with Lois. Like Lois Lane. Like I talked about Superman, the live action movie. It's Lois.
Yeah.
It's not me. And I'm a Wonder Bat fan. So, if she's going to be with anybody, it's going to be Bruce.
I also wanted to compliment you on it was a one-word reading you may not even remember, maybe the last episode,
Yeah.
where John Jones reveals himself having been away in China, as it turns out.
Yes.
And you just say his name, but there's like such joy when you say it, amid this big battle. But it was a great delivery, so just compliments to you.
Thank you.
And I also just wanted to ask, and the way that you portrayed the character, she was so, straight-laced and I don't want to say humorless exactly, but
She was a little.
very, but your performance really sort of evolved to where there was a little bit of sarcasm and more humor in the lines you delivered. I was just wondering how that kind of works out. Is it something the writers kind of decide to develop on their own, or is it something they notice in you that they would like to put into the scripts, or is it
God,
a hand-in-hand relationship?
I'd love to say it was something they noticed in me, because I was so funny during those sessions, but I was too nervous to be funny. I think I'm glad they evolved the character because she didn't get any of the funny lines. That wasn't who she was in this show. So it was such a joy when I got to like have a laugh or say something funny. But we had no control over any of that. That was all the writers, and there were different writers. You know, so for Justice League, there were a set of writers, then Unlimited, a different set, and some still from the first run. But, you know, anytime I got to say something like sarcastic or funny or romantic, something that would give another dimension to the character, it was a total joy.
Well, thank you.
Of course. Thanks, Todd.
I did like the line in Eclipsed where you're taken over by the gem, and you say, "Men are pigs," and you turn around and walk away from when Flash is there, and they're trying to figure out what's wrong with you.
All right. Remember that
There's
one?
a show called The Justice League. You're looking at me. You're looking at me like I got two heads, Susan.
Because I don't remember saying men are pigs. But
Men
I
are
did.
fools.
Fools.
Fools,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's why I didn't
I
remember
misquoted.
it. It's a show called The Justice League, James.
I've not heard of this. See, you got the bigger laugh. Are you happy? Look at that.
Because the pigs are this little piggy.
Yes, this little piggy.
Yeah. Hi there.
We talked to you yesterday.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, about you being instrumental in getting the Justice League cast together at the Denver show years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we just talked to James like half an hour ago about you being instrumental in getting Carl here. And Kevin, rightfully so, gets credited as being like kind of the glue of the DC animated universe. But you kind of seem to be like the heart of the cast in the group. So what is that like in your relationship with the other cast members of like getting people together? Because like I said, you just seem like the glue that kind of holds everyone together at like the heart of it.
And you'd have to ask them what that feels like to get that call from me. It feels like I love the group. I love the seven of us, and I love the fans. And so when Warner Brothers wasn't putting us together, I wanted to. So I would try to get us in as many reunions as possible. And after losing Kevin, I think we all got even closer to each other. We were 7 and then we were 6. So we started to show up more and more. But again, it's like what the studio wouldn't do, I wanted to do, because I was the one having the conversations with the fans all the time. And everyone was telling me how much the show meant to them, and that it was a part of their childhood, and that their impressions of these characters were made from the show. And it's like, well, then we should be out there meeting these fans and talking to these fans. So it's tough getting 7 people together, but we all love it. And Andrea Romano also, she was a trooper, and she was like, I'll come direct you if they put us together in a movie. But it never happened, unfortunately. Thank you
for getting everyone together multiple times and putting in the legwork to do it.
Oh, that means the world to me. Thank you so much for mentioning that. Thank you. And for you. Nice.
Hello, Bruce.
So much for the secret identity. I had already, that's my son, by the way, and I had already thanked you for bringing everyone together, especially Carl, because I was in Denver with the last time that you were all together in the public.
Right.
And that was with Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the day before the reunion, he was up on stage doing his
Kevin-ness?
And yes, and it was he just overwhelmed the audience with his Batman, I am Batman,
Yep.
And you've kind of already answered my question, but I still was going to ask it again. Being that you've worked with Tim and George and Kevin, your Diana Prince wasn't linked to Superman or Batman in the series like they were in the comic books, but Wonder Woman was linked to Superman in some comic stories. Sure. Definitely with Batman, especially in that rooftop scene. The
rooftop scene.
So who do you think your Diana Prince would have chosen, Clark or Bruce?
Bruce or whom?
Bruce or Clark.
Oh, God. Again, Clark's my brother.
Okay.
And I love him, and I love George. I worked with George way more than I worked with Timmy. I did a movie with Tim,
right.
And I did The Daily Show with Tim. But George was, my Superman on the show, and practically every other movie I've done was with George.
Okay.
But there was just something sweet about Batman and Wonder Woman, and that wasn't. Dan Reba will tell the story. I mean, that wasn't originally set out to be. It was just through the watching of our recordings and hearing our voices together and seeing that sparkle in my eye whenever he'd walk into the room, and they put us together. But that wasn't. Right? That was never intended.
No.
That was just, that evolved. And then also the message boards, right? They had then,
Yeah.
where people were like, oh, I love Wonder Woman scenes with Batman and things like that. So they wrote more of it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
No, you.
Oh, thanks. But anyhow, because we keep mentioning Lois Lane, so I have to ask this, because when we get to the whole Bruce Wayne versus Clark Kent thing with Wonder Woman, constantly, even in comics, they try to villainize Lois Lane against Diana.
Yeah.
And I know in the Justice League show, as far as I'm aware, they don't really have a moment where you get to meet Lois Lane, but would you have liked a moment like that?
Loved.
And what would you have wanted it to be like?
I would have loved a moment like that, because I love Dana Delaney, who voiced her. She's extraordinary. I loved her since China Beach. So it would have just been, I mean, I think she's a woman's woman, Diana, so to meet this smart, together, talented person, I think Diana would have loved it. And the fact that she was with Clark would have made it even more special, because she loved Clark. I love Clark. So I think it would have been a great scene. I remember Dana being in the room, but I don't remember having scenes with Dana at all. And that's too bad. I would have loved it.
Yeah, no, that was my favorite character combo.
She was, and she's such a good actress. It wasn't like she had this huge, expensive part, but she made it brilliant. I mean, she's just lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think there was a missed opportunity there in not doing like a maid of honor redo with you and Lois out on a girls' night or something like that. That would have been a great. We'll get Alan Burnett and Dan Reba to write us something up and draw some storyboards on it. If you guys have been back to the Heroic Fine Art booth right back there in the back and met Dan Reba and Alan Burnett. So if you guys have a chance after this, not now because we're doing a panel, after we're done, you can go back and say hello to both of them as well.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. Yeah, in fact, everyone I've told to go see them, they're like, oh yeah, we already got their autograph. And I'm like, what the heck?
And then Dan's drawing the little Batmans on the things, and it's like, Dan Reba, you're trying to sign your signature, and there's Dan Reba.
God. We love Dan Reba.
We do.
So we tease him. Who has more questions?
Yes, anybody else, please, come on up. Yes, come on up to the mic.
This was the gentleman I was talking about before.
Oh, okay. She
Right?
set you up. This better be good.
Because he said he was going to ask a question, and I was like, ask it at the panel.
So what got you into animation, or voice acting?
Voice acting?
Yes.
So I did ads on the radio for my dad's business when I was in high school. So that was like in the back of my brain that I did that. And then years later, I went to study acting and did theater and acting, and moved to Los Angeles and decided that I didn't like being in front of a camera. I don't even like being in front of this video camera that's running right now, but that's another story. And you're lovely, by the way. But I liked being in front of a microphone. So I decided to take classes in voiceover, which I did. And I was very lucky. I got an agent, and I started auditioning, and I just was very, very, very lucky. And that started me on my path. And I've been doing it ever since.
I guess since a lot of people are asking about like theoretical questions, how would an interaction with Zatanna and Wonder Woman be for you?
How what?
How would an interaction with Zatanna and Wonder Woman be for you? Just Zatanna Zatara?
Oh, Zatanna. So you didn't have any scenes. I think Zatanna did show up. I know she was in Batman the Animated Series, and she was voiced by Juliet Landau.
Right.
But did you have, usually I think for the recordings that you guys did, Juliet was playing Tala in Justice League Unlimited. So I don't know, you don't have any scenes with Zatanna, did you?
What about in This Little Piggy. That
Oh, of course.
right?
Just that
James, it's called Justice
We
League
haven't
Unlimited.
we haven't gotten to that episode yet, Susan. But yeah, so you're asking about the interactions between the two characters?
Yeah, a more fleshed out one.
Yeah,
Would
'cause
you
there
like
wa-
to see
that wasn't fleshed out
No,
at
it
all.
wasn't at all. No,
No, it
'cause-
wasn't at all.
No.
You know, I'm not a writer. I'm going to let the writers write those scenes, and I'll happily act them. But do you ever think of what that would be like? Because I didn't deal with her in that episode.
No, but it would be kind of cool because I know they did it recently in Tom King's run of Batman where
Yeah.
the girls all went out with Catwoman for a bride's night. Oh, that's right. We don't mention the Catwoman around. Gets a little jealous.
Just a little.
Bruce and Selena versus Bruce and Diana. It's a different dynamic. But no, that would have been kind of fun to have like a girls' night out episode with you and Zatanna and Fire and Ice and
Yeah.
Vixen.
Yeah.
That would have been kind of a fun thing
Giganta?
too. Yeah. She was Giganta's on the other side. We're only doing heroes. Oh, that's who you're dressed in? I'm kidding. Of course I knew. That's a great cosplay, by the way. I meant to tell you earlier, and I've been like this all day, so great, very nice. Yeah, but thank you for the question. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other questions at all? If you'd like to pop up to the mic. Otherwise, I'm going to shift gears. Yes.
I've been a big fan of the Justice League Revisited podcast over the last several months. I was wondering, you may have mentioned on the first episode, but how did y'all come up with the idea to re-examine the show? How did y'all link up for it? And also, will Michael Rosenbaum ever be available to be on an episode?
He was.
Oh, okay, I haven't caught up yet.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to be on. Stay
Spoiler.
tuned. Stay
Spoiler.
tuned.
Yeah, we do have him for a great episode.
Yeah, it's
So
wonderful.
if you're just starting the Justice League run and haven't gotten all the way to when we quit, he's in there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's great. And thank you for listening.
And in
'cause-
case you guys think I was slacking, by the way, we did ask Michael to come to the convention. He had a convention last weekend, and he has a convention next weekend, and he just said, I don't have the bandwidth to do 3 in a row. So we did ask Michael Rosenbaum to come.
Yeah, because you know he does that Smallville show, and he's so busy with that, and we got to get him to do some Justice League
Yeah.
appearances. But how did we come up with this idea?
What was I can't remember. Was it your idea or my idea?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're both fans of the show, and Susan's been on my radio show so much, she's the de facto co-host of the show.
I love live radio.
She
love
does.
it. Love it.
And so we just were talking. It's like, man, why don't we have get everyone together? And we were very upset with Warner Brothers. And I think we were mutually cursing the name of Warner Brothers at the time. And I think we said, hey, let's do a podcast. And she said, I know some people. Obviously, so she's opened up her little Rolodex. George Newbern, yep. Maria, we got her, yep. We're going through the Nathan Fillion, no.
Okay, I
And
told
going through-
you to lose the Rolodex
Oh,
reference.
sorry, no Rolodex.
Because it ages you.
She's going through her apps on her phone like this. But yeah, so I think we just kind of stumbled upon the idea and said this should be something because the fans love the series, obviously, and this will give everyone a chance to revisit.
Okay, I think that was
the
mine.
show.
I think I came up with the title, Justice
did.
League Revisited. But yeah, we just, we're friends, and I think he's so frickin' talented as a broadcaster, and he's also geeky in a way that I am not. Like, I don't know that world that well. So he was like the perfect co-host for me because I was there, but I don't know like the history of the characters. I don't know what he knows, and he's brilliant at broadcasting, and he's so quick on his feet, and I knew he'd be a great host. So I make him do all the introductions, like, and list who, like, when did it air, and all that stuff that I don't know. He's so good at it. So we love doing it. We're giddy that we get to do
so much
it.
fun.
We love it. Thank you.
No, I've enjoyed it so much on many walks and grocery runs. It's just utterly fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions at all? I'm just checking out on the clock. We got about 6 minutes left if someone wants to pop up and ask a question. Otherwise, I will slightly shift gears, going once. Going twice, shifting gears, I would love to talk about, because I know we have talked about it. They might not know. I grew up as an 80s kid, so getting to play the freaking sorceress in the new Masters of the Universe that Kevin Smith did, come on. Tell people about how you got the role and how Kevin Smith said you're the only person for this role, and you guys are always having dinner together now.
No,
You're
no.
on his Smodcast.
No, it's not true.
But no, obviously you were perfect for the role.
Yeah.
And he specifically, you guys met. So yeah, tell the story.
Yeah, we were at a Comic-Con. I was at a Comic-Con, and Comic-Con green rooms are like high school. It's like you're in there, you're all in there, and it's like there's the cheerleader, there's the football quarterback, and it's really like a hierarchy of performers, because there's in the green room there's like people who are famous for features, and then television, and then animation. And so Kevin was in the green room, and a couple of people were going up to say hello to him, and I thought, I don't know if I want to say hello to him. He won't know who I am, but I believe that if there's an opportunity in life that presents itself, you got to go and you got to say something, especially if you like somebody and you want to share that with them. So I went up to him and I said, "Hi, my name is Susan." He's like, "I know who you are. I've seen every episode of the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. I know who you are." And we just had a cute little exchange. Didn't think anything of it. And then like a few months later, I got a call about The Sorceress. And I didn't know about The Sorceress too much. So I did some research, listened to the old shows, and I went in with a very specific idea of what she would sound like. And I did that for him. And he's like, "That was great, but that's not what I want." And I was like, "Okay, what do you want?" And he said, "I want it to be like Wonder Woman, but different." And I said, "Okay, I think I can do that," because that's pretty much every character I've ever done. And that's what came out, whatever is on, the show. And I'm really super proud of it. I love doing it. And he's a terrific, terrific, terrific director. Kevin is like one of those people, he's such a fan, and he loves actors, and he makes you feel like $1,000,000 and while you're recording. And you'd be surprised at how many people don't make you feel that way and make you feel like anxious and nervous, like you're gonna screw up. He's just the opposite. He is just like a hug, a warm hug. So it's been great. It's been great. I hope there are more. I haven't heard anything about more episodes because the actors are always the last to know.
Right.
But thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, I had to. Like I said, as an 80s kid, I grew up
And I
watching
paid you.
He-Man. Yeah.
And I paid you.
You did. There was the check did clear just last night. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
Right.
We just have like a minute or two left. Any last minute question? If you have one, don't miss out on the chance to come up here. This is her first time in St. Charles. Anyone last question going once? Going twice? Okay, well then, as we always close out our podcast, Susan, let everyone know where they can find you online, social media handles, websites, where they can go to keep up with you.
Okay, it's so cute. Susan Eisenberg 1, the number 1, on like social media. And then I have a website, susaneisenbergvoice.com. And that's where you can find like where I'm going to be appearing, Comic-Con, such like that. And you can also email me. It may take a little while for me to email you back, but I will email you back. And it'll be me. So, and be in touch. I love seeing all of you, and then the conversation continues after the Comic-Con because we can see each other on social media. There's a woman in the audience today who I met on social media, and I don't want to embarrass her, so I'm not going to point to her or do anything, but we met on social media, and she's a huge Wonder Woman fan, and she does all these posts on pictures of Wonder Woman from different artists, and she promotes all these wonderful artists, and she promotes me because she promotes my Wonder Woman that I did. And I met her, and then we met at a Comic-Con, and she's just the most wonderful person. So I love social media. I love meeting everybody, so don't be shy on social media. Say hello, and say I met you in St. Charles, okay?
And you have to say it like Robin Williams pretending to be Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello!
That's what my dad used. That's how we used to greet each other. Hello! Anyway, thank you everybody for joining me. I appreciate it. And I'm right in that room. If you were too shy to say something, I'll be right in that room signing autographs and taking photos and talking. So come say hello.
Send her off warmly. Big round of applause, please, for Susan Eisenberg.
Thank you. Thank you.